What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest from the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Monday, May 15th, and today I'm looking into a crystal ball about the immediate and foreseeable future of our Washington Commanders. We are now under new management. New ownership group led by managing partner Josh Harris is coming into this building, and I'm here to discuss what the first order of real football business is for this team. We're not talking stadiums. We're not talking community outreach and fan outreach and getting into the good graces of the fan base. And we're definitely not talking about the fucking branding and name of the football team. We're talking about football, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your state-of-the-art stadium, or if you're called the Flaming Pigs if the team isn't any good. You're not going to put any fans into that state-of-the-art stadium if the football continues to be mediocre and inept. But I don't think that's going to be the plan here. And I think the first huge move for Josh Harris and company is to establish true organizational structure on the football side of the organization. True structure. I'm talking about actually fleshed out positions. Fleshed out organizational structure to consist of a vice president or president of football operations, general manager, assistant general manager, director of pro scouting, pro personnel, yada, 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 etc. I'm not talking about made up positions, concocted titles to give our buddies across the league a position to work with us, or making up a position to appease some loved alumni so they can stick around the building. I'm talking about actual business acumen people to make decisions for this team. Josh Harris is not a guy that meddles. He's a guy that is willing to put money into the organization and let the people he's paying big money, top dollar to, do the things for him. I'm looking at an article that was referenced by J.P. Finley back in the Bethesda magazine from 2015, where Josh Harris says this himself out of his mouth, word for word. The most important hire as an owner of an organization is your general manager and then your coach. I'm going to say that again. It's your general manager and then your coach. No coach-centric bullshit here. No stupid, sloppy organizational structure. You hire the football guy to come run the whole thing. And after buying the New Jersey Devils hockey team, in his first briefing, he said, I'm just here to provide resources and then hold the people I hire accountable. And it's the same thing he did with the Philadelphia 76ers, a team we just saw be eliminated from the Eastern Conference playoff team. But he went out and spent top dollar for the best executive in the league, Daryl Morey. Top dollar for one of the greatest coaches of this generation, Doc Rivers. And what that tells me is that when he gets his feet 10 toes down in Ashburn, things are going to start happening. He's not going to fire everybody right away. There's always that year of evaluation. But as you've seen with the Phoenix Suns situation, they just fired a really good coach in Monty Williams, because that's what new ownership does. They pick their own guy. Unless there's a legacy, all-time great coach in place, you are cooked. But Ron's going to get to play this year out. His front office doesn't need to, though. Their job's done for the year. The draft has been completed. There's usually a Black Monday after the draft's completed where scouts and front office people get fired. They get tanked and people can start over. We don't have to wait for the offseason of 2024 to start bringing in front office guys, which brings me to the topic of today's video. Our guy that we should have on a short list of candidates to run the football side of the organization, general manager, president of football operations. Let him be both, like Howie Roseman is for Philadelphia, but he can finish out that staff as he sees fit when he gets here. He's a guy who should be a top every team shortlist when it comes to general managers. His name is Mike Borgonzi, assistant general manager, Kansas City Chiefs. And he looks every bit how you think a guy named Mike Borgonzi should look. He looks like a side character cousin from The Sopranos. Bring his ass here to DC, hand him the keys to the entire football operation, and let him structure it as he sees fit. Hire the next coaching staff, hire your assistant GM. Shit, bring some guys over from Kansas City with you. But it is time this guy gets a job. 14 years in the organization for Kansas City, and he's held more executive titles there than Dan Snyder had scandals here in DC. He's done a little bit of everything. He's done a little bit of everything in Kansas City, man. And since being the assistant GM for a couple of years under Brett Veach, a guy that he also served as a co-director of player personnel for 3 years in Kansas City. He's the secret formula to success there. He's the Krabby Patty secret recipe for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I need it, man. I need it. The Chiefs just piss excellence as an organization, bruh. They have coaching trees. They have executive trees. Look at John Dorsey. Look at Ryan Poe. Everybody comes from Kansas City. I want that for us. I want that for us, bruh. He is the right-hand man to Brett Veach, the league's best executive. Served as a co-director of player personnel under John Dorsey with Brett Veach. He was the director of football operations for 3 years. He's been a scout. He's ran the scouting side. He does everything that a GM does for that team minus the title. He has assistant in front of his, and I'm sure he's ready to branch out and leave the nest just like Eric Bieniemy did. But this is one of the league's top executives. He has not yet been given a chance to fail. He's fresh, but he's experienced. He's as experienced as they come. He's been on this job for 14 years, running every bit. He has dabbled into every bit of the front office, scouting, pro, college side. He's done it all. He was huge in the late round findings of L'Jarius Sneed, Travis Kelce, and Kareem Hunt. He's practically general manager 1B for the Kansas City Chiefs behind Veach. He's as important, and I want that here for us badly. And whoever he decides our head coach and our quarterback to be, he can make that decision once he's here, but we have to knock that first hiring out the park. And everything that I've read about Josh Harris says that he will spend whatever the fuck it takes on and off the field to make this a world-class organization. So I'm going to take him for his word. Go hire this guy. You want to hear this guy speak? Every year when the draft concludes for the Kansas City Chiefs, he does the post-draft presser wrap-up where he in detail and in depth breaks down each of their draft picks and the ideology behind each pick. He's him, bruh. This is the home run hire we've been waiting for. And once he's hired, there's going to be a full fleshed out staff, and we're going to be handing the key cards and cubbies to Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney. Great guys, awesome guys, not good general manager. Martin Mayhew, I'll never get the stench out of my system that he was the general manager for an 0-16 football team. This is how good teams become great. Go poach the top level available executive from the most successful teams, the best brands in the world. Go get them. We need that here. And like Louis Riddick said the other day on ESPN, Washington now becomes a destination for everyone. Luxury destination for everyone. Everyone wants a part of the turnaround and the return to glory of the Washington Commander. So for anybody saying, why would Mike Borgonzi want to? I'll stop you right there before you finish that dumbass sentence. We're under new management now, baby. There's no meddling, misogynistic dweeb stepping off his boat to make draft picks for you. There is actual ownership, unlimited Russell Wilson voice, liquid capital fuming through this organization now with the list of owners in our ownership group coming in. Why not go get the most experienced guy there is? 14 years. Right-hand man to Brett Veach. Everybody in the league talks glowingly about this guy. He will be the next big GM hire. Why not here in Washington? We've seen Ryan Poles leave the Kansas City pipeline to become, he's running the football operation in Chicago, just traded out of the number 1 pick for a litany of draft capital. Shit, make it a package deal and bring Brant Tillis with him, the VP of football operations for Kansas City. You know how the Giants took a package deal of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll from Buffalo? Go get me a few of them Kansas City dudes. Josh Harris is a fucking well-oiled machine as a businessman. I'm sure he already has a short list of guys who's going to come in and run this organization. And if Mike Borgonzi is not on this list, I'm not sure what to tell you. Not saying he's the end-all, be-all of franchise front offices, but this should be the first name you vet and the first name you bring in for an interview. And I wouldn't even need to talk to him much. The guy lives, sleeps, and breathes football and has had as much fingerprints on the success of Kansas City as Brett Veach, John Dorsey, Ryan Poles, and all the executives you can think of that's been in that building. One of my friends who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan has said, please do not put this energy out in the air. He's going to take over one day. No, relax. We need that here in D.C. because it's a new day here in D.C. He's never had the chance to fail. The arrow's been pointing up ever since he's got there, and all he's done is get promotion after promotion and get tasked with more responsibility. I need this here in Washington, man. I'm manifesting it. Assistant General Manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike Borgonzi, Washington's next GM, Vice President of Football Operations, whatever the hell you want to call it. Hand him the keys to the football side of the organization and let him cook. Let him cook. And whoever he decides, the coaching staff, the quarterback, and the roster, whatever he decides, I'm with the shits, bro. Because until he proves me wrong as an executive in this league, I have no right but to trust the process. The process. Something that Josh Harris trusted in Philadelphia. They have not won a championship during his time there, but he's flipped a distressed asset of $300 million and turned him into a $3 billion basketball team that contends, has MVPs, and has a chance at the NBA Finals every year. It's not directly translatable to the NFL, but listen, we're in good hands as Washington fans, and I am excited for the future of this team. The first big move coming from Josh Harris as the owner of the Washington Commanders should be hire a top-level executive from a winning and revered franchise. And that number 1 guy on that list for me is Kansas City Chiefs Assistant GM Mike Borgonzi. Speaking it to existence. If it happens, me and the group chat called this shit months before everybody else. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Rio out.